The ship floated alone in deep space, silent, damaged. Dying, Captain Verne stood in the middle of the control room. The lights above flickered weakly, casting long shadows on the cracked metal floor. A low alarm buzzed quietly in the background. The air was cold. The oxygen system had failed 2 hours ago, and backup tanks were running low. "This is not good," Viren said softly, more to himself than anyone else. He turned to his crew. Only 3 others had survived the attack. Engineer Rala, young and smart, was trying to fix the power core. Pilot Drek was unconscious, strapped to his seat with a head wound. And beside him, old medic Soren was wrapping Drek's head with bandages. His hands shaking. The ship, Telna's Hope, was built for exploration, not war. But they were attacked anyway by raiders from the edge of the galaxy. It had happened fast. No warning, no chance to escape. Now their engines were offline, shields broken, weapons destroyed. They were drifting and helpless. Captain Viren took a deep breath. He had only one option left. "Rolla," he said, "is the long-range transmitter still working?" She looked up, her eyes tired. "Yes, Captain, just barely." "Good, send a message." "A distress call. Who should we call?" she asked. Viren hesitated. Their own people were too far. No one in this sector would answer in time. He looked at the screen, showing a map of nearby systems. There was only one option. "Send it to Earth," he said finally. Rolla froze. "Earth, humans." Soren raised his head, surprised. "Are you serious, Captain?" Viren nodded. "Yes, they're closer than anyone, and they helped others before. But they're strange," Rolla said quietly. "Unpredictable." "No," Viren said, "but we don't have a choice." She nodded, slowly, and started typing the message. "Distress call message, to Earth Command. This is Captain Verne of the exploration vessel Telna's Hope. We have suffered a brutal attack. We are heavily damaged and unable to move. Life support is failing. We request emergency repair assistance. We carry no weapons. We are not a threat. Please help us." Coordinates attached. She hit send. The message disappeared into the stars. Now, they waited. 1 hour passed. Nothing. The ship grew colder. Soren wrapped Drek in blankets. Rolla gave up on the power core. It was beyond saving. Captain Viren stared out of the window. All he saw was space. Empty, quiet, endless. Then, suddenly, the console beeped. Incoming transmission. Everyone turned. Rolla pressed a button. A voice came through the speakers, calm, confident. "This is Earth Command. Message received. Help is on the way. Estimated arrival, 47 minutes. Hang in there." Viren blinked. That was fast, too fast. "How did they get our signal so quickly?" Rala whispered. "They must have ships nearby," Soren said, confused. "But why?" None of them had an answer. Minutes passed slowly. Then the ship's sensors came alive. Multiple warp signatures detected. Everyone ran to the windows. Out in the blackness of space, stars seemed to shift. Then, blue lights appeared. One by one, massive ships dropped out of warp. Huge vessels made of dark metal, covered in weapons and glowing blue lines. Smaller ships followed them, fast and sharp like birds of prey. At the center of the formation was a massive cruiser, shining with Earth's emblem on its hull. Earth didn't send a repair ship. They sent a fleet. Roller's mouth dropped open. Why so many ships? A signal blinked on the screen. Put it through, Viren said. A hologram appeared, a human man with short grey hair and a relaxed smile. He wore a blue uniform with a steaming mug of something in his hand. Captain? Viren, the human said cheerfully. We heard you needed repairs. Viren stood tall. Yes, we thank you for responding. But why did you send so many ships? The human took a slow sip from his mug. Well, he said, our analysts believe the ones who attacked you might come back. And if they do, we'd rather be ready. He leaned forward with a grin. Also, we brought coffee. Rolla looked at Vian, confused. What's coffee? Vian had no idea either. The human continued. Our engineers will start repairs right away. Meanwhile, our defense grid is active, just in case. Don't worry, we'll take care of everything. Viren didn't know what to say. This wasn't just help. This was overkill. But maybe that was Earth's way, as the human fleet spread out around them. Preparing for repairs and defense, Viren couldn't shake the feeling. Something was coming, and Earth already knew it. The Earth fleet moved like a animal, quiet, fast, and ready. The large cruiser floated just beside Telma's Hope, its weapons calm but clearly visible. Dozens of smaller Earth ships flew around them, scanning the area, forming a defense ring. Drones zipped by like fireflies, scanning the alien ship for damage. Captain Vian and his crew stared through the broken window of their bridge. They had asked for help, tools, repairs, maybe food. Instead, they got a war fleet and coffee. Captain Engineer Ralla said, pointing at the radar, there are at least 20 human ships. 5 of them are heavy class. 1 is a carrier. Soren, the old medic, whispered, they brought a whole task force just for us. Viren didn't respond. He was still trying to understand what was happening. Another signal blinked on the console. Open it, Viren ordered. The hologram of the same Earth officer appeared again. He still had the coffee mug in hand. Hey again, Captain. Just wanted to let you know, our repair drones are ready to board. No need to worry, they're friendly. Before Viren could answer, small Earth pods attached themselves to the side of Telma's Hope. The doors opened, and dozens of drones floated inside. Sleek machines with lights, arms, and scanners. Don't be alarmed, the human said. They're just doing their job. The drones didn't wait for permission. They went straight to work, welding, scanning, replacing broken parts, cleaning fire damage. It was fast, too fast. Rolla looked shocked. Their tech, it's generations ahead of us, Soren chuckled. And they brought a cleaning crew. Within minutes, the lights inside the ship were back to full brightness. The oxygen returned. Heat flowed through the walls. Everything was coming back to life. Viren shook his head. They fixed in 10 minutes what we couldn't in 10 hours. The human officer's voice came again. We've also upgraded your shields and added emergency plasma turrets. Just in case. Wait, what? Viren blinked. You added weapons to our ship. Of course, the human said with a smile. Standard Earth response. If someone attacks you again, we want you to fight back. But we didn't ask for that, Viren replied. You didn't have to, the human said. You called Earth. That means you're under our protection now. Back on the bridge of the human cruiser, Commander Grant placed his coffee cup down on the console. Status? He asked. His second officer replied. All systems online. Repair operation on Telma's Hope is 63% complete. Weapons installed. New shields active. And the scans. The officer looked at the screen. The raiders who attacked them. They're still out there. We intercepted enemy chatter. They plan to return and finish the job. Commander Grant nodded slowly. Let them come. He looked out the window at the peaceful-looking alien ship. It reminded him of a lost child. They won't know Earth's waiting this time. Back on Telna's Hope, the crew couldn't believe what was happening. New screens appeared. Faster engines, stronger shields. A food dispenser in the hallway now offered strange human drinks. One button read, Hot Earth, Coffee, Press. Carefully, Rolla pressed it out of curiosity. A small cup popped out with steam rising. She sniffed it. Smells weird. Soren took it and sipped. His eyes widened. It's strong, very strong. Suddenly, an alert rang on their panel. Multiple warp signatures detected, Rolla said, panic in her voice. Viren ran to the screen. Enemy ships, 5. No, 10. No, 15 of them. They're back, Viren said. The same ones who attacked us. Soren grabbed the medical kit. We can't fight. Not again. But Rolla pointed at the screen. Look, the Earth ships had already moved, like a machine coming to life. The entire fleet shifted formation. The big cruiser moved in front of Telna's Hope. Fighters launched in groups of 3. The carrier opened its bay and released dozens of drones, glowing blue. Earth is protecting us, Rolla whispered. A final message appeared on their screen. This is Commander Grant of Earth Defense. Stay inside. Watch the show, in space. The enemy ships charged forward, but Earth didn't wait. Before the enemy could fire a single shot, Earth's fighters spread out like a net. Lasers fired in perfect timing. Explosions lit up space like fireworks. Enemy ships tried to run, but Earth's drones were faster. One by one, the raiders were destroyed. Captain Vern, Soren, and Ralla watched in silence. In less than 5 minutes, it was over. Nothing was left of the attackers but burning pieces of metal. The screen blinked again. All threats eliminated, Commander Grant said. You're safe now, and you still have coffee left. Viren looked at his crew. No one spoke for a while. Finally he said, we asked for repairs. They gave us an army. Soren finished, and Coffee Roller added with a smile. They all laughed, nervous, surprised, and grateful. Earth had come, and they had come in full force. The stars had gone quiet again, after Earth's fleet crushed the attackers. Telna's Hope floated calmly in the protective circle of human warships. Repairs were almost finished. The ship was not just fixed, it was upgraded, stronger than ever before. But Captain Viren couldn't relax. He stood at the main console, staring at the weapons now attached to his ship. 2 rotating plasma turrets, emergency shield boosters, autolock targeting systems. They had asked for help, but Earth had turned their peaceful science ship into a battle-ready vessel. Why so many guns? Vianney asked aloud, not really expecting an answer. Behind him, Ralla was inspecting one of the new systems. Captain, these weapons, I've never seen tech like this. Some of these controls respond to thoughts. Soren, sitting in the corner, with another cup of Earth's strange black drink, raised an eyebrow. Thought-controlled weapons? That sounds dangerous. Everything Earth does seems dangerous, Vian muttered. The console beeped again. Another message from the human fleet. Vian sighed and tapped the panel. Commander, Grant's hologram appeared once more, standing casually with that familiar mug in hand. Captain Vern, he said, just checking in. Your ship is 98% ready. Shields are 10 times stronger now. Plasma turrets are online. Not bad for a science vessel, huh? Viren folded his arms. Why give us weapons at all? We didn't ask for them, Grant smiled. Let me ask you something, Captain. If someone punches you, do you want a bandage, or do you want to punch back harder next time? Viren didn't reply. Commander Grant continued, We don't do halfway help. You called Earth, so now you're under Earth's protection, and Earth protects. Aggressively, Soren leaned over and whispered, He's not lying. Grant chuckled at the silence. Anyway, we also installed a language update in your ship's computer. Now you can understand most Earth slang. You'll need it. Before Viren could protest, the transmission ended. Later, Viren walked alone down the ship's newly cleaned hallway. The smell of burnt circuits was gone. Instead, there was a faint scent of something sweet, maybe from the Earth food dispensers. He stopped at the weapons control room. It used to be just a storage closet. Now, it had glowing screens, mounted turrets, and a built-in targeting AI called Blazer. He tapped the console. A robotic voice responded. Hello, Captain. Would you like to target something today? Viren blinked. No, Blazer, I would not. The AI paused, then replied, Okay, but if something threatens you, I will eliminate it. With style, Viren sighed. What does with style mean? Lasers. Lots of lasers, Blazer replied proudly. Meanwhile, on the human cruiser, Commander Grant watched the alien ship from his window. He liked Captain Verne, calm, careful, thoughtful. Most aliens were nervous around humans, and they should be. Earth's reputation in the galaxy was complicated. Some called them protectors. Some called them overkill, but no one ignored them. His second officer spoke. Sir, more intercepted comes. Enemy forces are angry. They didn't expect Earth to respond. Grant nodded. Good, let them be angry. Let them talk. The officer hesitated. But sir, why are we investing so much in this one small alien crew? Just one science ship. Grant turned, serious now. They asked for help, he said, and they're not warriors. That's exactly why we help them. If we don't, who will? He picked up his mug again, and besides, he added, I kinda liked these folks. Back on Telna's Hope, Roller called out, Captain, you need to see this. Viren ran to the bridge. On screen was a nearby asteroid field. Earth drones were flying through it, scanning, mapping, and then building. Are they constructing something? Soren asked. Yes, Roller said. A defense station. Within minutes, tiny Earth drones were connecting metal plates, power cores, shield, emitters, and turret platforms. A forward outpost was being built, right next to them. Incredible, Viren whispered. They're turning this area into a stronghold. And they didn't even ask, Rala added. Another message came through. Earth again, Captain. Commander Grant said, figured it's best to make this place safer, so we're building a mini station. Good spot for coffee breaks too. VNA looked straight at the hologram. You planned this. You expected the attack. You knew the enemy would come back. Commander Grant smiled. We monitor certain enemy channels. When we saw your distress call, we knew they might try again. So yes, we prepared. Viren frowned. So this was never just about fixing our ship. No, Captain, Grant said. It was about sending a message. Later that night, if you could call it night in deep space, Captain Viren sat Alone in the observation room, he looked out at the glowing Earth ships. Their lights shimmered like stars. The defense drones continued building. Fighters zoomed past on patrol. His ship, once broken and hopeless, now looked like part of a fleet. He sipped a cup of Earth's coffee, bitter but warm. He didn't understand humans. They were kind but loud, generous but armed to the teeth, strange but somehow comforting. He smiled to himself. They had asked Earth for help, and Earth had responded like Earth always did, with upgrades, overkill, and more coffee. The stars outside Telna's Hope looked peaceful, but inside the ship the crew was tense. Captain Vian sat in the command chair, watching the scanners closely. Something didn't feel right. Earth's help had been too fast. Their tech was powerful, too powerful, and now their drones were building a defense station like they were preparing for war. Rolla entered the bridge, holding a small data pad. "Captain, I found something strange," she said, her voice low. "What is it?" Viran asked. Rolla showed the screen. "These signals, they're from enemy ships, small ones, hiding behind the asteroid field." Viran stood up. "I thought the enemy was destroyed." "They were," Rolla said, "but someone survived. And they're watching us." At the same time, on the human command ship, Commander Grant leaned over the console. The room was quiet, but his team was busy. Every screen showed movement scans, patrols, radar sweeps. "We found them," his officer said. "How many?" Grant asked. 3 scout ships, cloaked. They're hiding behind debris." Grant nodded slowly. "They're not just watching," he said. "They're waiting." "For what?" the officer asked. Grant turned to the window. His voice was calm. "For reinforcements." Back on Telna's Hope, Vian was pacing. "We need to tell Earth," he said. "We already did," Rolla replied. "But they already knew." Viran raised an eyebrow. "How?" Soren, standing near the back of the room, answered, "Because Earth doesn't just help. They prepare, they plan, and they always assume the worst." A message came through. "Incoming Earth." Commander Grant appeared again, looking serious. "This time, Captain, you were followed. Enemy scouts are nearby. We've detected movement from a larger force. We believe a second attack is coming, stronger than the first." Viran frowned. "Why would they return? We already beat them." "Pride," Grant replied. "Revenge, maybe even fear. Earth involvement changes the game, and now they want to erase that mistake." Rolla stepped forward. "What do we do?" "You don't do anything," Grant said. "You stay safe. Let us handle the war." Vian looked at the weapons Earth had installed on their ship, then at the defense grid, the drones, the fighters. Still, he felt uneasy. "Why us?" he asked. "Why are they so interested in us?" "Because you sent a signal," Grant answered. "And when someone calls for help, they reveal 2 things: that they're weak, and that they trust someone." He leaned forward, his voice low. "That makes you a target, but it also makes you important." 20 minutes later, alarms began to sound across the Earth fleet. Enemy jump signatures detected. Multiple warships. Incoming. This time, it wasn't just raiders. It was a full battle group. Heavy-class enemy cruisers, frigates, missile boats, fighters and swarms. A red wave of ships came through the blackness like a storm. Commander Grant stood on his bridge. "Calm as always. All units," he said, "prepare for engagement." Earth's ships moved like a living machine. Shields lit up. Drones flew into position. Fighter squadrons launched. But something was different this time. These enemies were better organized, smarter, and angry. Back on Telna's Hope, the crew watched in silence. Rolla whispered, "That's a lot of ships." Viren nodded. "More than last time." Soren said nothing. He just handed Vianney a cup of Earth coffee, his hands shaking slightly. The Earth AI Blazer chimed in. "Captain, I am now on full combat alert. Would you like me to vaporize something stylishly?" Viren sighed. "Not yet, Blazer. Let's wait." The battle began. It started with light bright beams cutting through space. Explosions bloomed like flowers in the dark. Earth's fighters moved fast, hitting enemy ships before they could form up. But the enemy had numbers this time. For every enemy ship destroyed, 2 more arrived. On Earth's command ship, Grant gave calm, cold orders. Target their fuel lines. Disable weapons, not engines. Let them run scared. Send message. This is what happens when you follow our friends. On Telna's Hope, a small enemy fighter broke formation and turned. "Toward them, Captain. It's coming straight for us." Rolla shouted. Viren slammed his hand on the panel. "Blazer, take it down." "Gladly," the AI replied. One of the plasma turrets activated. It spun, locked on, and fired a brilliant blue bolt. The enemy ship exploded before it got close. "Stylish." "Enough," Blazer asked proudly. Soren laughed. "I think I like this AI." Meanwhile, enemy command ships tried to regroup, but Earth was already 1 step ahead, from the defense station still under construction. New cannons came online, massive. Blasts tore through enemy cruisers like paper. Asterisk. And then Earth's secret weapon activated a stealth bomber, hidden until now, slipped behind enemy lines and unleashed a single, powerful pulse bomb. Everything near it vanished. The battle ended 14 minutes later. Enemy survivors jumped away. Into warp, fleeing in panic. Earth didn't chase them. They didn't need to. They had sent their message. Loud and clear. Don't touch what Earth protects. Back on Telna's Hope, the silence returned. No more alarms. No more red lights. Just the soft hum of systems and the quiet breathing of a tired crew. Commander Grant's hologram appeared one last time. "Captain Viren, the threat is gone. Your ship is safe again, and the defense station is nearly complete. We'll leave a garrison here, just in case." Viren looked at him, tired but grateful. "You saved us, again." Grant smiled. "We didn't just save you, Captain. We warned the galaxy." He lifted his coffee mug one more time. "You called Earth. That means something now." The battlefield was quiet now. Smoke floated through space like fog. Broken ships drifted without power. Burned metal, cracked engines, and floating debris told the story of a war that had ended to fastened to one dash-sided. Telna's Hope stood untouched at the center of Earth's formation. Not a single scratch. Captain Viren sat at his station, still holding the empty coffee mug Soren had given him during the battle. The cup was cold now, but his hands were warm, sweaty from the tension. He had just watched an Empire's fleet get destroyed in less than 15 minutes. Not by a grand army, just ... by Earth. Across from him, Rala stared at the updated screens. They now showed enemy ships as red dots and Earth ships as glowing blue. A sea of blue surrounded them. "How can they fight like that?" she asked softly. Soren answered from the back. "They didn't fight. They crushed." The Earth AI Blazer activated with a cheerful tone. Captain, your weapons remain charged. Would you like a post-battle blast to celebrate victory? Vienna shook his head. No, Blazer, stand down. Blazer paused. Fine. But it would have been glorious. A message appeared. Incoming, Commander Grant. Earth Defense Fleet. His hologram flickered to life. No coffee this time. His face was calm but serious. Captain Viren, we're finishing cleanup. Enemy fleet is gone. Survivors ran. We won't chase. Let them crawl home and tell their leaders. Earth struck first. Viren stepped closer to the projection. How did you know they'd return with so many? Grant's eyes narrowed slightly. Because we know our enemies. We study them. We break them before they know they've lost. He paused. This wasn't just a battle, Captain. It was a warning shot. Rolla leaned over to Vern and whispered, they didn't just help us, they used us as bait. Vern gave her a sharp look, but she wasn't wrong. Commander Grant heard her anyway. She's not incorrect, he said calmly. But we didn't leave you unprotected. Earth doesn't gamble. We calculate. Viren frowned. So you made us a trap? No, Grant replied. We made you a message. He stepped closer in the hologram. You asked for help. We responded. That tells the galaxy something important. Earth doesn't ignore calls. And when we arrive, we don't just fix ships. We change the balance of power. Outside the ship, more Earth drones zipped by, collecting metal, storing data, and repairing small damage to nearby allies. Telna's Hope looked brand new. No one could guess it had been attacked twice in 2 days, and now it wasn't just a science ship. It was a symbol back inside. Soren poured himself another cup of Earth coffee. He added too much sweetener this time, but didn't care. I don't know whether to fear them or thank them, he said. Rowler replied, I think it's both. Vienna remained quiet. His ship was safe. His crew was alive. But deep inside, he knew the truth. This wasn't just protection. It was power. Commander Grant sent another message. Captain, Earth's mission here is complete. We'll leave a defense station, 3 patrol ships, and a drone carrier to guard the system. You are now under Earth's shielding pact. That means no one touches you, not without starting a war. Viren nodded slowly. What if someone tries anyway? Grant smiled. Then Earth strikes first. Again. Hours passed. The debris field was gone. Earth's ships moved back into peaceful formation. The defense station activated, its weapons online, its sensors scanning. Telna's Hope was no longer alone. Later that evening, Viren called a meeting in the ship's dining bay. The crew sat around the table, tired, quiet, still trying to process. Everything. I never thought Earth would come like this, Rolla said. I thought they'd send a small repair team, a ship, a message, not a fleet. They don't do small, Soren replied. Viren looked at his crew. We need to understand what just happened. We're part of something bigger now. This isn't just survival anymore. This is politics. This is strategy. Soren raised a hand. Captain, respectfully, I don't care about politics. He pointed at his coffee. This stuff, it's worth the war. Everyone laughed. Even Viren cracked a smile. Suddenly, Blazer interrupted. Captain, I've received encrypted data from Earth's fleet. They've installed a new system into your ship. What kind of system? Viren asked. Something called StrikeNet Access Protocol, Blazer replied. You now have permission to request military support from Earth. Instantly, Rolla blinked. They gave us access to their war grid, Blazer answered proudly. Yes, you are now an Earth-trusted node. Welcome to the network. Viren leaned back in his chair. His peaceful exploration ship now had weapons, AI, allies, and Earth's direct strike capabilities. Why us? He asked again, almost to himself. No one answered, but maybe the silence was the answer. Sometimes, the universe doesn't choose the strong, it chooses the connected, and they had connected too. Earth. As the crew finished their drinks and laughter faded, Viren stood and made a quiet promise to himself. Next time someone else called for help, he would answer, because now they weren't just survivors. They were part of something bigger. They were part of Earth's shield. And when Earth strikes, the galaxy listens. The stars looked calm again. But Captain Viren knew better. He stood on the bridge of Telna's Hope, staring at the scanner screen. Earth's fleet had returned to patrol formation. The defense station was active. Drones were rebuilding parts of the nearby asteroid field as a trap zone. Everything seemed under control, but the warning on the screen blinked in red. Unidentified. Vessel approaching. Roller tapped on her console. It's just one ship, Captain. Small, fast. No ID tag. Soren leaned in. Could be a lost trader. Viren shook his head. Or the last hunter. Blazer, the ship's AI, spoke up. Captain, this ship has stealth markings, and engine signatures match the enemy fleet. They left one behind. A shadow, a ghost, a final threat. Commander Grant's. The voice came through. Captain, our ships are currently refueling. Yours is the only one in range right now. You'll have to handle this. Viren blinked. You want us to fight it alone? You've got shields, weapons, and Blazer. Think of it as a test, Grant said with a grin. Then he added, besides, if things go wrong, we'll be there in 12 seconds. Give or take. The message ended. Roller looked up. A test. Why us? Soren answered for her. Because Earth wants to see what they've built. Outside, the lone enemy ship moved through space like a silent predator. Its design was sharp, thin, fast. It didn't send a message, didn't answer hails. It just kept coming. And then it powered weapons. Blazer. Viren said calmly, lock shields. Load turrets. Blazer responded with excitement. With pleasure, Captain. Let's give them a warm goodbye. The enemy fired first, a fast bolt of plasma, aimed directly at Telna's Hope's front deck. But Earth's upgraded shields flared, blew and absorbed it easily. Roller looked shocked. That would have destroyed us before. Viren nodded, but not anymore. Return fire, he ordered. Blazer didn't hesitate. Twin plasma turrets on the side of the ship lit up and sent pulses flying through space. One hit the enemy side, the other missed. They're fast, Soren said. But not smarter, Roller replied. The enemy curved around, coming in from behind this time. Blazer activated rear shields automatically. The crew felt the impact. A soft vibration, nothing serious. Then the enemy tried something new. It vanished. Where did it go? Viren asked. Blazer scanned. Cloaking field activated. It's near, but I can't see it. Soren frowned. It's hiding, waiting. Roller typed quickly. I have an idea. She adjusted the ship's side panels, charging particle dust dispersal. Blazer reacted. Smart move, releasing in 3, 2, 1. A cloud of fine particles shot out from Telna's Hope, spreading across space like silver fog. Then, a shape moved through it, fast and silent. Target located. Blazer shouted. Fire, Vian ordered. This time all turrets locked on and fired together. The enemy ship tried to dodge, but the cloud had slowed it down. Direct hit. The blast knocked off part of its wing. Flames flickered across its hull. It still didn't send a message. No retreat, no surrender, just silence and rage. It came again, this time at full speed, charging directly at them. A suicide run, Blazer warned. Impact in 14 seconds. Roller looked at Vern. We need to stop it now. Soren stood up. Captain, let me fire this time. Vern looked at the old medic. You sure? I've patched up too many wounds in my life. It's time I make sure no one else gets hurt. Vienna nodded. Do it. Soren stepped forward and pressed the targeting controls. He waited. The enemy ship got closer. Closer. Almost in range. Now Soren whispered. He fired. A clean, perfect shot. Right through the enemy's front engine. The ship exploded in a bright, silent burst. Fire, smoke, and metal scattered into space like stars. Asterisk. The crew didn't cheer. They just breathed. Blazer said, Enemy eliminated. You are now officially scary, Captain. Viren exhaled. Stand down weapons. Power off turrets. Roller slumped in her chair. We did it. Soren sat down and smiled. And I didn't even spill my coffee. Commander Grant's hologram appeared again. Nice work, Telna's Hope. We watched the whole thing. That shot, beautiful. Viren asked, why didn't you just help from the start? Grant replied with a half smile. Because the galaxy needs to see what you are now. Not just survivors, but defenders. Earth gave you the tools. You proved you can use them. Outside the ship, the wreckage of the enemy floated. Cooling in the emptiness of space, the Earth drones arrived soon after, collecting the remains, scanning the tech, and silently leaving. Nothing was wasted, not even a lesson. That night, or what passed as night in space, the crew gathered in the mess hall. Soren raised a toast to the last ship standing. Rala added, to the one who never stopped flying. Viren looked around at his crew. They were tired, changed, but stronger. We were explorers, he said. Then survivors, then bait. He paused. Now, maybe with something else. Blazer interrupted on the speaker. Now, Captain, you're heroes. Armed, caffeinated. Heroes, everyone laughed. But in their hearts, they knew it was true. They had fought, and won without Earth firing a single shot. Peace had returned to the sector. For the first time in days, there were no warnings, no enemy signals, no explosions, just silence, good silence. Telna's Hope floated calmly inside Earth's new defense ring. The ship looked nothing like it did when this journey began. The hull was shiny, the shields were upgraded, the systems were faster, the crew wiser, stronger, and in the center of it all stood Captain Vern, calm, proud, and finally rested. The message came just after morning cycle began. Incoming, Earth Command, final mission, update Commander. Grant's hologram appeared in the ship's center, still dressed in that sharp blue uniform. But this time, his tone was softer, more personal. Captain Vian, repairs complete. Enemy threat neutralized. Earth's fleet will begin withdrawal in 12 hours. But one gift remains. Vianney raised an eyebrow. Gift, Grant smiled. Come. Outside. Minutes later, Vienna and his crew gathered at the observation deck, and there it was, floating nearby, fully armed, painted in black and silver, was a brand new support frigate, glowing with blue Earth tech, already named Hopes. Fang Soren's jaw dropped. "That's a warship," Rolla laughed. "They gave us a warship." Blaze's voice crackled on the speakers. "Correction, they gave me a bigger room." Viren blinked in disbelief. "Why would Earth give us something like this?" Another message. Arrived, Commander Grant's voice echoed again. "Because you earned it. You defended yourself. You protected this system. And you fought with us. You're not just survivors anymore. You're allies," he continued. "Hope's Fang will serve as both a mobile science lab and a light combat escort. Your ship is now the center of Earth's shield program for this sector." Rolla scrolled through the specs on her datapad. "Captain, this ship has stealth drive, double cannons, shield amplifiers, and a mobile coffee plant." Soren choked on his drink. "Wait, a what?" Blazer confirmed. "Yes, built-in coffee production, fully automated, customizable blends." Soren leaned back. "I take back every insult I ever made about humans." The day passed quickly. Earth crews helped transfer supplies. Engineers installed the final software. And at the edge of the system, the massive Earth fleet prepared to jump out. But 3 ships stayed behind, a rotating patrol, just in case. One final gift. Commander Grant sent a final personal message to Vianney. "You called Earth for help, Captain, and Earth showed up. But you proved something important. You didn't just wait. You stood up. You adapted. And you showed this galaxy what happens when a small voice gets a big response." He leaned closer to the screen. "From now on, you're not alone. Anyone who attacks you, attacks us." Then, with a small salute and a smile, "And if you ever need more coffee, just ask." As Earth's main fleet jumped away into hyperspace, the stars rippled. One by one, their lights faded from the sky, and just like that, the space felt big again, but not empty later. The crew of Telna's Hope stood on the bridge, looking at their new ship docked beside them. "Hope's Fang," Rala whispered. "That name fits." Soren sipped a fresh cup of Earth roast. From a helpless science vessel to leading a strike-ready unit. If we wrote this in a book, no one would believe it. Viren looked at them both. "We started as explorers," he said. "Then became a message. Now we're a symbol." Rolla smiled. "Of what?" Viren stared out into the stars. "Of what happens when you ask Earth for help." A few hours later, a message came in from a distant outpost. Another alien vessel, badly damaged, requesting aid. No nearby forces, no time to wait. The crew looked at the screen. Rolla turned to Vian. "Captain, what should we do?" Vian didn't hesitate. He stood tall, calm, ready. Blazer prepped the Fang, set a course, engage at full speed. Blazer responded instantly. Blocking coordinates, charging weapons, and brewing coffee. Telna's Hope and Hope's Fang turned in unison and jumped into hyperspace. No longer running from threats, now they were answering calls. Now they were the ones bringing upgrades, courage, and cannons.